getting to what, Lou just said with regard to the open dialogue. One thing I was in between these episodes, I went back and I went to a publication that was talking about Thomas Jefferson, and he's talked about, because Thomas Jefferson really was the pushing the idea of freedom, of a lot of these freedoms in the First Amendment, when he penned the Virginia State Constitution. And there were four different cores for which applied to the First Amendment that he felt very dear to. One was the freedom of conscience, because people have a duty to think for themselves and not have the government think for them. That's number one. Second is the free speech makes the representatives accountable to us, the people. Again, so this is the assembly and the petition parts of the First Amendment. Free speech is necessary for the discovery of truth. That was a big thing for Thomas Jefferson. I think it's actually on his tombstone. Comes out when there's more speech and not less of it. And the final thing was that free speech is necessary for the public discussion and necessary for self-government. He encourages everyone, and he encourages us today, even from the grave, from his words that he penned. Open discussion is necessary for this republic. And that is voiced in the First Amendment. The discussion, to be able to have the freedom of religion, to be able to talk about different religions, to talk about this and not be afraid to talk about it, to assemble and petition, getting together, exchanging ideas, the freedom of the press to report on things. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening here. Let's talk about this. And of course, overlaying it all, the freedom of speech, so that the government can't tell you that you can't do this or say that without an absolutely very important, compelling reason not to. And there are, like we said, there are limitations. Can't yell fire in a crowded theater, that kind of thing. But absent those exigent circumstances, those are the four principles that wrap up the First Amendment in a nice little bun. So I think, anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think I agree with you. No, it is a nice little bun,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
but that's exactly it. I mean, that encompasses everything. Is where you need these basic rights. You need these First Amendment rights to be able to voice every other right. I mean, without the ability to say something, without fear of being arrested, ability to gather with people that you want to and associate with people that you want to without the fear of being arrested, the ability of the press to be able to speak truth to what is being brought forward to them, and to make the observation so that not just a small group sees it, but that everybody sees it. I mean, the one thing that we have seen is a lot of, through our lifetimes, is the nightly news was the nightly news. That basically covered, like, the first 10 minutes of it was the big governmental issues that came before you. And then the last of it was, all local concern. Now, with so many news outlets out there, everything that occurs is essentially a national headline. Things that are happening in New York City, you would normally hear anywhere else outside of the immediate area. Things that happen in Los Angeles, things that happen anywhere across the country, even, out in Dubuque, Iowa, you wouldn't hear about stuff like that. But now there's so much news out there, which is a good thing, that everything becomes a matter of national concern.